Hey, what's up guys? Spencer Rhodes here. So, The Walking Dead TV show, which has been around for a decade now, is based off of The Walking Dead comics written by Robert Kirkman, and the comics had been going on from the year 2003 to this year, 2019, and it kind of sort of just ended out of nowhere. Robert Kirkman kept promising over and over again over the years that the comics would be 300, 200, 400 issues, and that there was still a lot of story he was going to tell. But right at issue 193, he just kind of ended it just as a surprise, and he revealed that he had been planning on ending it and that he just didn't want to tell us ahead of time. He wanted it to be a surprise. But 193 was the last issue of the comic series, and Rick died in the penultimate issue. He died in issue 192. And there's a lot of differences between the comics and the TV show. There are characters that live longer in the comics than the TV show. Two of those, namely, are Carl and Sophia. In the comics, Carl and Sophia survive the entire run of the comics, and in the last issue, there is a very big time jump, a 20-30 year time jump. And Rick is dead, a bunch of characters are dead, but Carl and Sophia have grown up and they have kids, and it's pretty much a decent, happy, bittersweet ending because they're happy and things are peaceful, and there's a few characters that are alive and happy. And there's no Judith because Judith died much, much, much earlier in the comics. She died when the governor attacked the prison in the comics. So there's no Judith. Rick is dead. Carl and Sophia are alive. There's differences between the show and the comics, but basically the comics and Carl and Sophia are a happy married couple that have kids. And I just found an interview with Carl's actor on The Walking Dead, Chandler, and he's talking about the ending of the comics. But Chandler says that the ending of the show is definitely going to be different from the ending of the comics. I mean, obviously it will be because there's a bunch of characters that are dead in the comics, alive in the show, blah, blah, blah. It's just there's a lot of... It's just sort of switched all over the place. It's almost the opposite. Like in the comics, there's Carl and Sophia. In the show, there's Rick and Judith, basically. Like, those are the alive characters in each thing. But he's saying that the ending of the show is going to be different from the ending of the comics. But here's what Chandler Riggs says in this interview. I will read it out loud. I think so. I think, if anything, it'll have to be Judith sitting in that chair, reading to her son or daughter. But I don't think the show is going to end like that. I think they've strayed so far away from the source material, the comics, and with this whole CRM thing that's going on with all the different shows, I think it's leading up to be a completely different ending from anything else that we've seen. So I'm really excited to see where Scott Gimple leads all of these storylines, the entire franchise. It's going to be really interesting. Okay, so he says that, and then he's asked about what he thought of the last issue. And he says, I was honestly so surprised. I remember reading the comic, and I was like, oh man, this is going to be so cool. I can't wait to see the new frontier and hear all about these crazy things that have happened. It did kind of set it up pretty nicely for more things to happen, but then it said the end. And I was like, wait, what? No. I was really, really shocked, which I guess was the point of it. Yeah, it was weird reading Robert's message at the end. I was in denial for a while. Like, no way, it can't be over. It's been going on for so many years. There's no way. And then he says, the comics have been a pretty big part of my life too. When I auditioned for the show, that's when I started reading the comics. So I've been reading the comics for almost 10 years, so to see them come to a close was pretty heartbreaking. But I'm happy with how it ended, for sure. It was a very satisfying ending. So that's interesting. I think it's interesting that he says that maybe it's Judith Grimes that has the kid on the rocking chair, and she's like 30 years old, and she's telling stories to her kid. That could be the ending of the show. I mean, you know, the show remixes things from the comics. It can have characters that are different from the comics do the same things. Like in the comics, for example, Michonne goes off on a boat, and for a little while she goes off on a boat and she sails around. And in the show, that's Carol. In the comics, Michonne has a romance with Ezekiel. In the show, it's Carol. There's Lizzie and Mika in the show, and there's Ben and Billy in the comics, but they pretty much do the same thing. In both the comics and the show, the governor decapitates someone, but it's a different character in each one. So yeah, they've definitely done the same things as the comics with a different character. So yeah, The Walking Dead could very well end with a 35-year-old Judith Grimes telling stories to her kid. And I'm not saying, season 12 or anything, like they're going to do a big time jump. Maybe season 20, I don't know, maybe season 30. I don't know, but I do think that could work as the ending. Even though Carl and Rick, well, not Rick, but Carl's dead and Sophia's dead and Rick's gone right now and stuff like that, they could literally pretty much end the show in the same way as the comics, but with Judith as an adult with kids instead of Carl. Chandler's right about that. They could do that type of ending. So that's really interesting. As far as how the show will end, I don't know. I don't know if the show, if it's going to go for an ending like that, or if it's going to go for another ending. How many seasons will it go? I mean, I feel like at least 15, 16, 20. I feel like at least 15 seasons. I don't think. I mean, maybe it could end with season 12 at the earliest, but I don't think so. I think maybe we could be getting 15 seasons, 20 seasons, because I feel like Judith is eventually going to become the main character, the leading character. She will eventually become the Rick Grimes type character. I don't know, maybe not, but I think she in particular has a lot of potential for the show to explore for years and years and years. I don't think the show is anywhere close to be ending. I don't think it should be ending for another 5-10 years. As long as the quality is good, I'm okay with the show staying on for a long time. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't be shy. Hit that like and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. I make 1 to 2 Walking Dead videos per day, so please hit that subscribe button. Right now I am at 640 subscribers. My goal is to try to get to 700 in the next few months. So just remember, every subscriber counts. Every bit of support matters and is very, very appreciated. Hopefully we can get to that goal of 700. Anyway, with all that said, I'm Spencer Rhodes, and I will see you guys later. Bye.